The Situation Room.
8 after 7, how are you doing? Good morning and welcome to Monday. It's the 7th day of October 2024. Well, it's not ordinary. It's no ordinary day in Israel. Of course, today they remember the day that Hamas launched those attacks into Israel. So that entire region today is quite on edge. And we'll be seeing how events unfold there. Back in the country, and you're thinking, Eric sounds a bit funny today. Yes. Man, I sound a bit funny. I don't know what happened to my voice. Sold a frog or something. City. So from here, I'll be heading to one of the 53 outpatient medical centers by the Aga Khan. You know, Aga Khan is, you say, we have the main facility on Liburu Road, okay? But that is mainly, we want to focus it on specialist care and inpatient care, all right? But we have set up 53 outpatient medical centers. And what can you get there? You can get gynecologists, cardiologists, urologists, family physicians, neurologists, nutritionists, psychiatrists, ENT, dentists, dermatologists, pediatricians. Of all those ones, which ones do you think I need to see, CT? ENT. Right?
I'm not so sure. You know,
it can't be urologist for my throat.
And it can't be OBGYN.
And
that's
it can
for sure.
It can be gynecologist.
No. The reason why I paused for a second, then I realized you're right. That's the person you need to see, because if you need someone else, they'll advise you.
They'll advise you.
Because the problem with anything that starts with the throat, it has a tendency of also cascading to the chest. Yes. But that is the individual who will be able to now advise you properly.
Yes. So one of the 53 outpatient medical centers, Aga Khan Hospital says, you know what, at the Aga Khan University Hospital, they're coming closer to you, to Komtaa Yako. Don't worry. And that's a good thing. Don't really worry. There's one near you.
Hapana kuwa na wasiwasi.
Hapana kuwa na wasiwasi. It's a good message from them, isn't it?
No, it is actually an excellent message, because you're being informed and you're being told of where it is you can access quality health care.
Yeah.
Yes, 53 is many.
53 is very many.
Yes.
53 is very many.
And they've also given you a list of all the specialities that you can actually access service from.
Yes.
Yes, so you don't really need to travel far. Yes. Yes.
And when the chairman of SHA comes in the next hour, we'll ask him, wait, have you guys signed a deal with the Aga Khan University?
Because we need to know, because there are people who may want to access one of these 53 outlets.
Yes. We need to know. We need to know whether it's working. We are also giving away 3,000 shillings worth of airtime, courtesy of Safaricom Home Fiber. Tell them what Safaricom Home Fiber is, City.
Well, you know how these things work. It's really very simple. You wish to have internet connectivity.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And you would like to have it fast, you'd like to have it reliable. And you'd like to be able to have something that your entire family can use. Now, that's where Home Fiber comes in. Because it enables you to do everything I have said and more. Meaning, even if you have a business, it is the very thing you need to ensure that you have connectivity, that will ensure that your business is not only up and running and continuous. Yes.
Kweli kabisa?
Yes.
Kweli kabisa. So we'll be joined by Morara Kebaso, who is on his way. He's stuck somewhere on Mombasa Road in traffic. And when he comes here, we'll be having this conversation of what we are seeing happening in the country and going on. So you wait for him to come so to give him the proverb.
That we shall do.
Yeah?
We shall wait for him, and then we'll give him the proverb when he comes.
Yeah. In the meantime, this is the story in the Standard today. This one, it says that Ruto locks out his friends. It's on page 8. Can I read it a bit for you?
Please.
It says President William Ruto is quietly reshaping his administration. He is consolidating power as he distances himself from old allies that defined his leadership more than 3 months ago. In a striking departure from the image of an open and easy leader, Ruto is enforcing strict access protocols and reshuffling long-serving staff. President's critics reveal that the move signals his growing authority, but has raised concerns about Kenya's democratic space. While responding to an ex-update by a citizen, Wanyoike Waikwa, who stated that the next 5 years of a country's life will be wasted through lies, killings, corruption, tribalism, mediocre experts, state capture, manufactured political drama, and sheer paralysis.
Waikwa, bwana. Man, the guy has gone to town on his adjectives, eh?
Hey. David D, as you know, he is the chairman of the president's economic advisors. And you know, on Sundays, David D usually is on a roll. He responded to Waiko Wanyoika and told him, 10 more like it. Grin and bear it to demonstrate that Ruto is in control. Told him, yeah, 10. Watch kusema 5, 10. When an ex-user, Joe Onkeo, challenged Ndi about unnecessary power games, Ndi said, it's for your mental well-being. You need to get over the delusion that Ruto is a passing cloud. The first passing cloud, that's President Daniel Arap Moi, stayed 24 years. Get in line. This is the reality. Ruto's first years in office were characterized by grand promises of reform, pledges to widen democratic space, fight corruption, and foster transparency as outlined in his campaign manifesto. Today, his administration is running a parallel police unit. Hooded police officers in civilian clothes, curbing freedoms through covert operations, a stark contrast to the campaign rhetoric that brought him to power. Last Thursday, for example, in a significant change in Ruto's effort to centralize control at State House, where access is now tightly regulated, Felix Koskei, the head of public service and chief of staff, had granted State House Controller Kato Ole Metito exclusive authority to control all visits to the presidential residence. I'd have thought that's a job of the State House Controller anyway. A memo titled State House Access Management Measures Felix sent to Metito stated that from high-ranking politicians to foreign dignitaries and private citizens, everyone must now seek clearance from Metito before setting foot in the house on the hill. The memo further orders Metito to compile a report of the particulars, identity, and every visit. Despite the provisions that State House is a protected area, several issues have been observed compromising its security, efficiency, and proper resource utilization. The memo warned State House officials, marking a new phase in Ruto's presidency. Ruto, no longer the globe-trotting leader delivering lengthy political speeches, has opted for a more calculated approach. Koskei's memo explicitly blocks even cabinet secretaries, diplomats, and politicians from meeting Ruto without the prior approval and knowledge of the State House Controller, who is supposed to clear them before they meet the president. In another move aimed at tightening internal controls, an audit of staff quarters within State House is underway, with all non-employees being asked to vacate.
I don't understand.
There were non-employees who were living in State House.
Yes, but what I don't understand is all those permission seeking. Kwani, how are people visiting and seeing the president before?
Previously?
Yes.
Kato was just seeing people on the corridors.
Yeah, but these people are supposed to have these very things that they're tightening. I thought these things, that protocols existed. It's not a question of creating new ones. I mean, surely you can't wake up and decide, today I want to go and visit the president. Or is that what was happening? People were waking up to go and visit the president. I've listened very keenly.
It sounds like previously people were just waking up and not going to boss.
I'd love to find any, was it went to play boss?
Boss. They go there and they sit, they say, boss ako na mkutano. Wacha tukae hapa tungoja tumwona.
It appears as, I mean,
they go in there.
Everything that they're saying, they're doing.
Mkutano jaisha. Ai, boss wamekaa sana. Wacha tutangoja tu.
Wacha tufungue kidogo tuone.
Yes. Wanaingia kidogo boss and then they step out.
No. I honestly don't understand what they're talking about, because
now Koskei is saying those things have become too much. Okay? Anybody who is entering State House, whether it's to see the president or to see any other member of staff, must get clearance.
But I thought everybody got clearance before you see the president. Name is forwarded, you get to the gate, they call.
Yep.
And when they've called, they've said, yes, they're expecting you, but just wait a moment. And then you're given directions. Now you go here, drive this way. But that is the process.
Yeah.
So how are people entering State House?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, again.
You get it, eh? You get it?
I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
There are people who, it's them and boss.
So, boss amenambia nikuje.
Yeah. Kuna kitu nataka kuambia boss.
No, anyway, ukitaka pigia nani simu kuambia boss na yes. Hey. But if it is being presented by the standard as something that is happening, and we are being also told anecdotally how it is he's distancing himself, creating new. You know, that reminds me of 1982 and the aftermath of it. Prior to that, President Moi had been presented as a very amiable, very easygoing fellow. And then 82 happened.
Yeah.
everything changed. Everything changed. Very many things tightened. Very many people who are known to be close associates, who are in certain positions, ceased to have those positions. People who, a lot changed. And thereafter is when we started hearing of purges. You hear there's this person who was in this position, he has done this, and people are unhappy with him. There's somebody who is a traitor. There's somebody who's trying to overthrow the government. That's when we started hearing all these things. And they continued. And remember, after this period is when we went through some of the darkest times of our nation. When people would just be arrested willy-nilly and disappear. Kabisa, yani gone, story in Asia.
Yeah.
And that's when many, many people who had been in the struggle, as we called it then, left the country. They realized, this one, you can die. Because people were dying. This is when we had courts and rulings at night. And there's a guy who at that particular time was the DPP, a guy called Chunga. Ay, my friend, that's when there was more Kenya. After that, then there was this. Any reason to clamp down on people was provided. And believe me, the clampdown was profound. Yes. And a lot changed in that time. Many, many, many people were jailed. Yes. Many. Many were let go of, but people were jailed.
What do you say? This story is saying that the president is consolidating his powers. He is tightening control. If you think about it from the story of what's happening in State House, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Now, the problem with that narrative is that they're implying the president didn't have control. And now he's tightening it. Yes. That is what I fear. But also there's something else that I must mention. Both the president and his deputy give us a word that would have us believe that they are God-fearing people. If indeed they are what they say they are, or what is gleamed from the things they say, then they will understand that power and authority is actually given by the Almighty. And when that power is given, it can be taken away. The dispensation to rule is given. And when it's taken away, it doesn't matter what you do, it will be gone. So, what are they saying? Because the dispensation is actually given to you for the benefit of people. Now, are we benefiting from this particular government? I leave that as an open-ended question. Because clearly there are people who benefit. But are the vast majority of citizens in this country benefiting from this particular rulership? If I were to simply pause and listen to the cries and listen to all the pain that people are feeling, the word benefit doesn't fit into that particular scenario.
So where's the missing link? Because it's not like those in leadership, from the president to his advisors to his cabinet to those in parliament in top leadership, are not really hearing what the people are saying. Friday was a clear example, for instance, across the country, without any kind of nudging. This one you can't say at your so-and-so sponsored people.
No.
If you look at the people that you are seeing, the caliber of people that you are seeing, from the youthful people to the elderly people, across the country, people standing up in Baringo and saying, you know what, these guys, this thing of telling us about the impeachment of the president, of the deputy president, okay, sawa, okay, but what about? What about issue A, issue B, issue 3, issue... What about these issues? And across the country, that's what you saw. You saw it in Garissa. You saw it in...
You saw it in Nyeri, where people boycotted and decided to demonstrate.
Yeah.
But they were responding to that particular... That's how they were participating. Eric, you know, the interesting thing about everything that we're seeing brings on the question we asked last week. Do they know what they're setting in motion? And do they know what the consequences of what they've set in motion will be? Because everything that we are seeing, every county in this country has had what you call a taste for national public participation. Do you think they are going to engage reverse gears when it comes to public participation again? Do you think they are going to they're going to desire to play second fiddle to the wishes of the elected leaders, other than them saying no? This was national and people participated, and interestingly, they came out in numbers.
Yes. There were many people.
Oh, there were very many people.
There were many. You know, normally we say, oh, you know, people don't come out for public participation, especially in budget conversations, or people don't do this and the other. Look
did we
at
see
the
now?
turnout, and it was something. Well, number one, it was well advertised. So you have to give it to the office of the clerk of the National Assembly for this one.
Did an excellent job.
They advertised it very well. It was all over in the papers. It was in the news that there is going to be a public participation exercise on Friday in these centers across the country. Okay?
And they repeated
and
it. It wasn't once.
This was going to happen. And then they even printed the forms and said, this is the conversation that's going to happen. And this is the form. And we'll expect you to fill out this form and go this and the other. You know? And so on and so forth. This was it. It was clear. So people knew. So first of all, Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly, tick. Now we expect that for all the other bills that go for public participation,
This is what we expect.
we shall do something similar.
Yes.
Okay?
They've set it in motion.
Oh, yes. And then the courts went and said, you know what? See, it's about deputy president. And the election for deputy president is the same as the election for president. And it happens in 290 constituencies.
Yes.
So now, see, then you go back to the 290 constituencies. And see, the people speak in 290 constituencies.
They do.
That's why Saturday now they were forced to go again, 290 constituencies, to meet that requirement.
But Eric, the thing that I find most ominous, if I were the president,
Yeah.
is that we are now being shown an example of how you can impeach a president. Because it is not a dissimilar process.
It's a similar. It's a
And
similar
people
one.
have had a taste for it. They've said, so even this is how it's done. Okay, we've got it. Thank you very much.
Kabisa.
Tumeshika.
Our guest has arrived. Morara Kebaso, a lawyer and a civic educator, is here. Morara, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Are you well?
Yes, I'm better.
What wanasema, why is Morara late? Can he get serious?
I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic was bad from Outer Ring Road all the way to Mombasa Road. It would not have been my wish to be late. It's not in my habit to be late, and I'm sorry.
We accept it.
Thank
You have
you.
a stiff neck, Morara.
I have an injury on the neck, but it's getting better.
How did you acquire this injury?
I went for public participation, or a semblance of public participation.
Yes.
Hii ni ile ulipewa kiti. Zikakuja zikiwa mingi.
The expectation that we have when we go for public participation is that every person's voice counts and that nobody is disallowed from coming to public participation. But it seems I was unwelcome to the ODM organized event, and that plans had been made much earlier that I'll be attacked, because by the time I'm being attacked, or that signs of being attacked are showing up, I was actually on my chair, seated, raising my hand to speak. It's the public that demanded that I speak, but it was not the wish of the MC, the TJ Kajwang, that I speak. So it's now that I'm, going back into memory to see where I actually got it wrong. And I think there were enough red flags that I should have seen that I did not see. And next time, we fall, we rise, we learn. Because right from, I had announced that I'll go for public participation on my Twitter, on my TikTok, on everywhere. And I'd said my position, that my position is that we impeach both the president and the deputy president. And having made this position known, there are people who are uncomfortable with that position. So by the time I got to Bomas at the entrance, I was blocked by the police from going in. But members of the public, gathered around, and there was a huge crowd, and I was allowed finally to go in. When I went in, the GSU prevented the members of the crowd, and I went to Bomas to the door. I was prevented from entering the door. I went to another door, I was still prevented to go through the other door. I went to the third door, I was still prevented. So when I came back to the first door, and I found a high-ranking officer, and I told her, I'd like to go in. I think she's called Kimani or someone. So she told me I can only go in with one other person. So I think that's where my security was compromised. I don't know whether it was intention on the part of the police to compromise it, but I was only allowed to go in with one person, and other people joined me behind. I sat down, then I listened to other people give their views. Then when it got to when I want to make my view, I raised my hand. When I raised my hand, the public pointed at me, the whole of Bomas, patia Morara microphone. But TJ Kajwang refused. He instead pointed at me and said, huyu kijana huyu hata haribu mkutano. So I stood up and said, no, sijakuja kuharibu mkutano, nipe microphone, nitoe maoni. And suddenly some people, all right, goons to be particular, came from behind the dais, and they've been identified. Most of them are goons that that work for the Honorable TJ Kajwang. Others work for Honorable Beatrice Alachi, and some of them work for George Aladwa. So they came, and when they came, they didn't come to there was no situation they were coming to calm down. It was not chaos and they are coming to intervene. They came to cause the chaos. They came, started moving tables, picked chairs and started throwing at me. I kept calm and sat down even when chairs were being thrown, but when it got serious, I tried to escape. But the exit towards which I was escaping, I found the door closed. So I was cornered. My bodyguard was injured. He could not defend me anymore. So then I was hit by more than 30 metallic chairs. Some members of the public tried to help me by, putting chairs on me so that every other chair that comes just lands on the other chairs. By the grace of God, some people who were on top held my hand and pulled me up from where I was trapped. And an officer who was brave enough to come in, pick me up, and they took me outside. And outside I was, evacuated from the place. I went to Nairobi Hospital for treatment. But I left the hospital. I went to another hospital when it became public that I was actually at that hospital, because at this time I didn't know what I'm dealing with, and I didn't know how deep the security situation or risk is. So I've been treated. I'm okay. I had head injuries in the back of my head, and I had neck injuries, and one of my legs is also injured.
But they are all tissue injuries. No broken bone.
God is good, and He's still seated on the throne. I'm happy that I'm alive, that I don't have any permanent injury, or I'm not paralyzed. I'm not on a wheelchair. Actually, I'm back in circulation. So unaniona.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back in circulation.
Karibu. Siti. Give Morara the day's proverb.
Yes, our proverbs
from
for this week and the coming weeks ahead, we are going to be looking at proverbs from countries that form what we call the Maghreb region, okay, of North Africa. And our proverbs for this week come from the Kingdom of Morocco. Mm-hmm. Okay. We were puzzled by the proverb ourselves. If you were told a dog has run off with your ear, would you run after the dog or first search for your ear?
If you are told a dog has run off with your ear, okay.
Would you run after the dog or search for your ear?
The first thing you should do is you touch to find out whether your ear is still there.
Confirm.
Before you confirm, before you run after the dog, because what you're told and what you're told versus what is the reality is usually different. Don't listen to what you're told before you confirm it. So before someone tells you that your ear has left your body, confirm whether it's still there. Touch your head, confirm whether your ear is still there. If it is not there, then now you go after the culprit, which you've been told is the dog. And it actually may not even be the dog. It may be the one who is telling you that the dog has run away with it. It's true. The one who is telling you that
maybe
that the dog is the one that has left with your ear may just be the one that has the ear, right?
That's true. Let's take a break. It's 27 minutes to 8. We have our guest, Morara Kebaso, lawyer and a civic educator, as our guest this morning. We're looking at public participation, what we've seen across the country, and what we see going forward. Now, remember, we are also giving away 2,500 into a Loop account. That's if you download the Loop app. What is the Loop app, City?
Well, the Loop app is what you can simply say is your introduction to a lifestyle of your choosing and a lifestyle of opportunities. Because the question would be, what can't you do with the Loop?
Yeah.
You can do anything you want. You can save money into it. You can transfer money. You can make it that very portal from where any financial activity that you desire is carried from.
Yes.
But everything that I'm saying may sound a little far-fetched. Download the app.
Yep.
When you've downloaded it, just look at the whole array of things that the app offers you.
Indeed.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle. If you want to just clear up your time so that you can focus on the things that you want to focus on, that's what you need to do. Download the Loop app. Go to Play Store or App Store, download it, register, sign up. It's a very simple registration and signing up exercise. You provide your email address, your phone number. They'll tell you, please scan your photo, the ID from the front and the back. This is because, of course, Loop is by NCBA, and NCBA is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya, and they have to know who the customer is. It's the law, okay? So once they tell you to do all these things, then you open the app, then you start finding things that you can do with it. You can send money, you can receive money, you can open many wallets, you can link many of your cards, you can get overdraft up to 100,000 shillings, you can get personal loans up to 3 million shillings. All this is possible.
This is The Situation Room